My beloved child, I see you. Even now, as you sit in silence, trying to keep yourself from falling apart, I am here. I am closer than the thoughts that overwhelm you, closer than the fear that grips your chest, closer than the tear that waits at the corner of your eye. You've been trying to stay strong for so long. You've whispered prayers through clenched teeth. You've encouraged others, while secretly wondering if there's still hope left for yourself. You've smiled at the world with a heavy heart, thinking, if only they knew. And I do know. I've seen it all. The battles you fought in silence, the nights you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking if anything will ever change. The moments you wanted to give up, but didn't. I was there. You didn't see me, but I held you. You didn't hear me, but I whispered over you. You didn't feel me, but I carried you. And I need you to hear me now, because your spirit is weary and your soul is thirsty. Don't give up. This is not the end. Not of your strength, not of your story, not of your purpose. You see rubble, I see foundation. You see failure, I see refinement. You see emptiness, I see space I've cleared to pour in something new. What feels like the end to you is just a turning point for me. My child, you were not created to be defeated. You were not made for despair. You were not destined for a life of surviving. You were made to overcome. I know your heart aches. I know you've been waiting for answers, waiting for change, waiting for something in you to shift. And sometimes it feels like all you get is silence. But silence is not absence. Silence is often where I work the deepest. In the quiet, I rebuild. In the stillness, I heal. In the pause, I prepare. You wonder if I'm listening. I've never stopped. Every word you've ever prayed has been caught by me. None have fallen to the ground. I've gathered them like seeds, and in time, you will see what I've grown with them. You're not late. You're not forgotten. You are right where you need to be for a miracle to unfold. But you must not give up now. You were chosen, handpicked, anointed for such a time as this. You may not see it, but I've placed a light within you that no darkness can extinguish. That light flickers when you cry, but it never dies, because it is sustained not by your strength, but by mine. Yes, you've stumbled. Yes, you've made mistakes, but redemption is my specialty. What you see as disqualification, I see as preparation. Your broken pieces are not worthless to me. They are the very parts I use to shape something beautiful. Do not be ashamed of your wounds. I was wounded too, and through my wounds, I brought healing to the world. Let me bring healing through yours. And if this message spoke to your heart, if you felt my voice reach something deep inside you, write these words in the comments. I won't give up. God is not finished with me. Let your faith be seen. Let your voice be heard. Let someone else's hope rise, because you were brave enough to believe. And when your heart is ready, come back again. I'll be here, waiting to remind you how loved you are. My child, I know the weight you carry, the kind that doesn't just sit on your shoulders, but wraps itself around your heart, a heaviness you've learned to hide, a burden you've stopped trying to explain. You smile, you show up, you keep going, and no one sees the battle behind your eyes. No one hears the noise inside your head, but I do. I see the fatigue you don't talk about, the way you brace yourself before facing each day, the effort it takes to answer, "I'm fine," when you don't even remember what fine feels like. And I want you to hear me clearly. I'm not waiting for you to be stronger. I'm not asking you to fake it until you break. I'm asking you to breathe, right here, right now, with me. Let go of what they told you strength looks like. It's not pushing through without help. It's not denying the ache. It's not performing for acceptance. True strength is surrender. True courage is softness. True healing begins when you allow yourself to be seen fully. You've been giving so much, holding space for everyone else, showing up when no one showed up for you. You've learned how to comfort others while quietly unraveling inside. But who comforts you? Who holds you when the encourager needs encouragement? I do. I hold the ones who hold everyone else. I catch the tears that fall in secret. I restore what's been poured out. And today, I want to pour back into you. You've learned how to survive, but I created you for more than survival. I made you for joy, not just the fleeting kind, but the joy that settles deep in your bones, the kind that cannot be stolen by circumstance, the kind that remembers, even in the valley, that I am still good. I know there are days you feel invisible, like the world keeps moving and you're falling behind. But I have not overlooked you. I have not misplaced you in the shuffle of the universe. Your name is engraved in the palm of my hand. I have watched over your every breath. I have written your tears in my book. Not one has been wasted. Not one has been ignored. Sometimes it feels like your prayers hit a ceiling, like your hope is too fragile to hold, like nothing is moving. But I want you to know, stillness is not failure. Silence is not punishment. Waiting is not rejection. I do my deepest work in quiet places. While the world rushes, I restore slowly, intentionally, lovingly. You've asked me, why does it hurt so much? And I answer you gently, because your heart is tender and you've loved deeply. Because what broke mattered. Because your soul is sacred. I know what you lost. I know what you long for. I know the timeline you had hoped to follow. But I am not bound by time. I am not restricted by deadlines. I work in divine seasons, not earthly clocks. And what's delayed is not denied. What's quiet is not forgotten. What's unfinished is still unfolding. So come to me, not with a list of what you think you must fix, but simply as you are, tired, tender, unsure. That's enough. You are enough. Let me wash over your mind. Let me speak truth where fear has planted lies. Let me replace exhaustion with grace. Let me remind you what is real. You are mine. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not broken beyond repair. Even now, I am rebuilding from the inside out, laying a new foundation beneath the one that cracked. Not to shame you, but to strengthen you. I am not disappointed in your struggle. I am not weary of your process. I am patient. I am present. I am here. Let me hold you. Let me be the place you collapse. Let my voice be the one that calms your spinning thoughts. Let my arms be the shelter where you fall apart safely. I will never ask you to pretend. I will never walk away when it gets messy. In fact, that's when I come closer. You've been fighting so hard, but you don't need to fight alone. This battle was never yours to carry without me. So today, choose softness. Choose stillness. Choose me. Let me tend to the places inside you that ache. Let me touch the wound you've covered up. I will not press into it to hurt you. I will press into it to heal. You've cried out to me in the night, and even when you couldn't feel my presence, I was cradling your spirit. And now I say this to your soul. You are safe. You are seen. You are worthy of rest. You are allowed to breathe again. If your heart recognized me in these words, if something holy stirred inside you, type it out in the comments. Let it be your declaration of faith. Say it with trembling if you must. I won't give up. God is not finished with me, because He isn't, because I'm not, and because you are still being held in hands that do not let go. My beloved child, you've come so far, and I know it hasn't been easy. You've walked through shadows that no one else saw. You've carried burdens that would have broken others. But you're still here, still breathing, still hoping. Even if your hope feels small, like a flickering flame in the wind, it is still burning. And I honor that. You may not think it's enough, but I want you to hear me clearly. That flicker of hope is all I need to work with. Because I am not the God of perfection. I am the God of persistence, the God of mercy, the God who keeps showing up when you think the story is over. You've questioned your strength. You've doubted your resilience. You've stared at the mirror and asked, am I still the person I once was? But what if I told you, you were never meant to be who you used to be? You are becoming someone deeper now. Someone softer and yet stronger, not hardened by pain, but refined by it, more aware, more tender, more courageous in quiet ways that don't need to be loud, to be holy. I am not ashamed of your growth, even when it's slow, even when it's messy, even when it looks like nothing but tears and tired prayers. Growth in my kingdom often looks like surrender, like lying still when you have nothing left to offer, like saying, God, I don't know what to do, but I'm still here, and I receive that. I receive your stillness as worship. I receive your exhaustion as offering. I receive your weakness as invitation, because when you run out, that's where I begin. You've been measuring yourself by standards that were never mine, by timelines, by achievements, by how together your life looks. But I don't measure like the world does. I look at the unseen, at the heart that keeps trying, at the soul that keeps reaching for me, even in darkness. And child, that is enough, more than enough. That is where heaven meets earth, in the unseen faith of a weary heart that still whispers my name. You've tried to carry it all. You've worn every role, the strong one, the fixer, the encourager, the provider. And while you've carried others, you've wondered, who will carry me? Let me. Let me be the place where you collapse, without fear of judgment. Let me be the arms that hold you. When you stop pretending to be okay, you are not weak for needing rest. You are not selfish for needing space. You are not failing because you need help. You are human, and I made you that way. And I delight in meeting you right where you are. You don't need to perform for me. You don't need to explain why you're tired, why you've cried, why you haven't prayed as much as you think you should have. I'm not tallying prayers. I'm watching your heart, and I know it longs for me. Even in silence, even in anger, even in doubt. Yes, even your questions are welcome here. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest. Honesty is holy. Tears are sacred. And presents yours and mine is powerful beyond words. So if all you can do today is breathe slowly and whisper, God, I don't know, then child, you've done enough, and I will do the rest. You don't need to strive to be worthy of my love. You already are. I loved you before the pain, during the pain, through the pain, and I will love you after the healing too. There is no version of you I cannot love. The joyful one, the messy one, the broken one, the rebuilding one, the one who wakes up strong, and the one who doesn't want to wake up at all. Every version, every moment, every breath is loved. And if something inside you softened while reading this, if your heart felt known, if your soul felt held, then leave a comment and say, even in my weakness, I know God is holding me. Let that be your prayer today. Not for perfection, but for presence. because I am here, and I am not leaving. My beloved child, I know what you've lost. The relationships that faded without explanation, the dreams that slipped through your fingers, the plans that didn't unfold the way you hoped. You grieved them silently, and you blamed yourself more than you should have. But hear me now. Not every ending was a failure. Not every closed door was a punishment. Some of them were protection. Some of them were me gently guiding you away from what would have broken you. You've been walking through a season of pruning, and yes, it's painful. It cuts deep. It feels unfair. But pruning is not destruction. It is preparation for fruit you cannot yet see. When I remove something, it is only because I am making room for something more, something truer, something that won't crumble in your hands, something that will last. You've been asking, when will it be my turn? And I say, your turn hasn't passed. It's being prepared. What I am building for you requires foundations deeper than what the world can see. I've been anchoring you, quietly, patiently, in ways you didn't recognize. While others moved fast, I took you deep. Because your life is not meant to be shallow. Your joy will not be surface level. It will be rooted, steady, unshakable. You were never meant to blend in. That's why you felt out of place. Why your path hasn't looked like anyone else's. Because I set you apart, not for isolation, but for intimacy with me, for impact in my time, for influence that is holy, not loud. You've been misunderstood. You've been mislabeled. You've been passed over, but I see you. I know your heart. I know the weight of every unspoken prayer. I know the ache behind your quiet smile, and I call you mine. Let go of the fear that you've missed it. Let go of the belief that you're behind. You are not behind. You are in process, and process is sacred. I've never needed you to rush. I've only asked you to trust, to keep showing up with your tired hands, your trembling faith, and your open heart. That is enough. Stop measuring your life by milestones. Start seeing it through the eyes of eternity, where healing takes time, where waiting is worship, where becoming is holy. Even when nothing feels done on the outside, I am completing something beautiful on the inside. A strength that does not shout, but endure. A wisdom that comes from fire, but holds peace like still water. A faith that doesn't need to have all the answers, but still chooses to stay. You've been wondering, is it okay that I'm not okay? Yes, child. Yes, it is okay. I never asked you to pretend. I never asked you to hide the cracks. I only asked you to come, just as you are, over and over again, because I never run out of grace. Not for you, not today, not ever. When you're ready, lay it all at my feet. The confusion, the sadness, the anger you don't want to admit. I can hold it. I already do. You don't have to censor your prayers. You don't have to polish your pain. Just come and let me hold you through it. Let me teach you that being held is not weakness. It's worship. Let me show you that your softness is not your flaw. It is your reflection of me. Let me remind you that you were made in my image, and I am gentle. I am patient. I am kind. So you can be too with yourself. You're learning to breathe again, to laugh again, to believe again, and I am so proud of you. Even on the days you feel like you've made no progress, I see the shift, the courage it takes just to wake up, the hope it takes to try again, and I call it victory. So pause now. Feel that breath in your chest. That is my spirit in you, the proof that I am still near. If something in your heart feels seen, if your soul was reminded of truth today, write this in the comments. I trust the process even when I don't see the promise. Let it be your quiet stand of faith. Let it be the whisper that echoes through heaven. I'm still here, God, and I still believe. My beloved child, you've been so patient, more than you give yourself credit for. You've endured seasons of silence, and yet you stayed. You've prayed without seeing, and still, you believed. I know there were moments when you wanted to walk away, from your faith, from yourself, from everything. But something inside you, something holy, whispered, just one more step. That whisper was me. I've been walking beside you through it all, not just ahead of you, but with you, in the long nights, in the lonely mornings, in the days where everything felt like too much. I was holding your hand, even when you didn't feel it. You've wondered, God, why am I still in this place? And I answer you with gentleness, because this place, though painful, is preparing you. You don't see it yet, but this valley is shaping your soul for the mountaintop that's coming. You've been learning endurance, not the kind that hardens your heart, but the kind that deepens your roots. You've been learning compassion, not through easy days, but through your own tears. You now understand the pain of others because you've tasted it yourself. You've been learning to hear my voice, not in the crowd, but in the quiet, not in the miracle, but in the wait. That's where our bond has grown. That's where your spirit has learned to lean, not on your understanding, but on my faithfulness. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to force progress. Just keep showing up. Just keep breathing. Just keep saying, yes, Lord, today, I'm still choosing you. That yes means more to me than you know, even when it's whispered, even when it's unsure, even when it's covered in doubt. Because I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for permission. Permission to love you fully, to restore you gently, to carry you completely. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the pressure to be further along. Let go of the shame for not being there yet. There is not where I'm calling you. Here is where I meet you. Now is where I love you. This moment, right here, right now, is sacred. Stop running from your present. There is beauty in this season, even if it's hidden, even if it feels slow, even if it feels like you're being left behind. You are not being left behind. You are being led differently. Some are called to speed, but you are called to depth. And I am not done digging. There are wells inside you, wells of strength, wells of wisdom, wells of worship. They're being uncovered, not all at once, but day by day. You are being watered by my spirit, refreshed in your dry places, sustained by something the world cannot see, but heaven rejoices in. Even your quiet obedience is echoing through eternity. Even your trembling faith is shaking the gates of hell. Even your smallest act of kindness is rippling through generations you may never meet. You are doing more than you know. Be gentle with yourself. Speak kindly to your own soul. And when the voices rise up saying, you're not doing enough, silence them with this truth. You are beloved. You are becoming, and you are already held. If this message felt like breath for your soul, if these words found the hidden ache inside you, write this in the comments. Even in the waiting, I am growing. Because you are. Because I am still working. And because your story is far from over, my child. I know how weary you are. Not just in body, but in soul. You've carried so many things that no one else sees. You've stayed strong for others. Even when your own strength was fading, you've walked into rooms with your heart breaking and still smiled because you didn't want anyone to worry. But let me say something you rarely allow yourself to hear. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to fall apart sometimes. It's okay to say, I need help. You don't have to hold it all together. That was never your job. That's mine. You've believed the lie. That rest must be earned. That worth must be proven. That love must be deserved. But here's the truth. You are already worthy, already enough, already loved. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, because of who made you, because I breathed my own spirit into you before you ever took your first step, and I haven't left since. I haven't turned away, not once, even in your lowest moments, even in your biggest mistakes, even when you walked away from me. I walked with you. I followed you into the darkness and waited patiently for the moment. Your heart would whisper, "God, are you still there?" Yes, I am. I've always been, and I always will be. You've tried to earn love from people who couldn't give it. You've apologized for being too much and for not being enough. But not once have you needed to apologize to me for being yourself. You are not too much for me. You are not a burden. You are not a problem to solve. You are my delight. And child, you've been so brave, not the kind of brave that stands tall and never flinches, but the kind that shows up anyway, that keeps hoping after heartbreak, that keeps choosing kindness in a world that can be so cold, that keeps praying, even when heaven feels silent. That kind of bravery moves my heart. That kind of faith changes generations. You don't even realize how your quiet obedience has shaped the atmosphere around you, how your resilience has kept your family standing, how your love has softened hearts that would have otherwise shut down. You may feel small, but you are powerful in ways that matter, eternal ways, ways the world may never applaud, but that heaven celebrates every single day. And I need you to stop disqualifying yourself. Stop waiting until you're better to be used. Stop believing that your healing has to be complete. Before your life can be fruitful, I use broken things. I redeem shattered stories. I take what the enemy tried to destroy and turn it into something breathtaking, not in spite of the pain, but through it. That's what I did on the cross, and that's what I'm doing in you. So breathe, rest, let me hold the pieces. Let me show you what beauty can rise from ashes surrendered. You're not behind, you're not forgotten, you're not too late. You are right on time for what I've written for your life. It's still unfolding. There are still pages turning. There are still chapters ahead that you never imagined could be yours. And you will not miss them, because I won't let you. If this spoke to something tender in you, if your spirit exhaled as you read, write these words in the comments. I don't have to earn love, God already calls me His. Say it as a reminder. Say it as a prayer. Say it as the truth that begins to heal you from the inside out. My beloved child, I want to talk to you about something sacred, something gentle, something the world often overlooks, but heaven treasures. Your healing. No, not the kind that's loud and visible, the kind that gets praised. I mean the quiet kind, the subtle kind, the kind that happens between tears and deep breaths, in bedrooms with closed doors, in early mornings where you whisper, I'm still hurting, but I'm still here. That's the healing I see, and I call it holy. Healing is not linear. It's not a straight line upward. It's a path that wins, that pauses, that dips into valleys before rising again. And I'm not disappointed when you stumble. I'm not impatient when you need time. I'm not frustrated when you cry over the same thing twice. Child, you are allowed to grieve what broke you. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to be soft with your scars, because I am soft with them too. I trace every wound with compassion, not condemnation. I place my hand gently over your heart, not to push you forward, but to hold you steady. You don't have to be healed to be loved. You are loved in the middle of the mending, loved while still limping, loved while still learning. Let me teach you how to be kind to your own soul, how to honor the parts of you that had to grow up too fast, how to speak to yourself the way I speak to you, with tenderness, with mercy, with truth that doesn't bruise. You've blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. You've carried guilt that was never yours to hold. You've looked at your reflection and said, I should be better by now. But I look at you and say, you're exactly where you need to be for me to love you fully. You don't need to prove your progress. You don't need to perform strength. You just need to stay close. That's it. Stay near. Stay honest. Stay soft. Because I don't want a perfect child. I want a present one. One who comes to me even with trembling hands. One who says, God, I don't know how to move forward, but I want to walk with you, and I will walk with you. Step by step. No pressure. No shame. No rush. I'm not healing you for the applause of others. I'm healing you so you can know what it means to live free, to breathe deeply again, to laugh and mean it, to wake up and not dread the day, to rest, truly rest, knowing that you are held by something greater than your own ability to keep it all together. That kind of freedom is possible, not someday, but beginning today, with one gentle truth. You are not alone in this. When you sit in silence, I am there. When you stare out the window, wondering if anyone would notice, if you disappeared, I do. I notice. And I would never let you go. You are far too precious, far too beloved, far too necessary to be forgotten. So take your time. Feel what you need to feel. Grieve what you need to grieve. But don't give up, because what I've planned for you is still alive. It's still waiting. It's still unfolding. It's still possible. And you are still mine. If these words wrapped around something aching inside you, if your spirit felt even a flicker of hope again, write this in the comments. God is healing me, even in the silence, because He is, because I am, and because the silence is sacred. When you know who is sitting in it with you, my beloved child, there is something I want you to remember, something the world may try to make you forget. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible to me, even on the days when no one checks in, when no message comes, when no one seems to notice the quiet ache in your heart. I do. I always have. There has never been a single day when my eyes were not on you. Not one tear has slipped past me. Not one sigh has gone unheard. Not one silent hope has been ignored. You may think your life is too small to be seen by heaven, but you are the very one I came for. You are the reason I still speak. You are the one I watch while you sleep, whispering peace over your restless mind. You've wondered, does anything I do even matter? And my answer is a resounding yes. The way you keep going when it would be easier to give up, that matters. The way you love others, even when your own heart is tired, that matters. The way you keep showing up, quietly, faithfully, with no audience and no applause, that matters. Heaven sees what the world does not. I see what no one else thanks you for, and I treasure it. I treasure you. The enemy wants you to believe that your life has no impact, that you're too broken, too inconsistent, too behind. But I am not looking at your pace. I am looking at your posture and your heart, child. It leans toward me, even when your mind is overwhelmed, even when your body is tired, even when your faith feels thin. That is enough. You don't need to impress me. You don't need to earn your place. You don't need to do more. Be more. achieve more, to be loved more. You are already fully loved, right now. Not the improved version of you, not the someday version, but this one, this tired, still learning, still growing, still trying version of you. I love you in your process, in your pause, in your questions, in your quiet. You are not overlooked in this chapter. You are being held through it. The season you're in right now, it's not a punishment. It's not wasted. It's not empty. It is sacred. Even if it feels slow, even if it feels lonely, even if it feels like nothing is happening, something is. Your roots are going deeper. Your spirit is becoming steadier. Your discernment is becoming sharper. And above all, your relationship with me, it's becoming real. Not performance, not tradition, but intimacy. You don't come to me now because you're told to. You come because your soul has learned there's nowhere else it finds peace. That, child, is what I've always wanted with you. Not perfection, but presence. Not rituals, but relationship. You are growing, even when it's hard to see. Even when the only evidence is the fact that you're still here, still open, still reaching. You are further than you think. You are stronger than you know. You are softer than you've ever let yourself be. And that softness, that tenderness, that's where I dwell. Let me keep shaping you. Let me keep holding you. Let me keep whispering truth until it drowns out every lie. That said, you were forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not alone. And if this reminder settled in your chest like peace, if it felt like someone finally saw what you've been carrying, write these words in the comments. Even when I feel unseen, God sees me completely. Because I do. Because I always have. And I always will. My beloved child, let's talk about your fear. Not to shame it, not to suppress it, but to hold it gently, the way I hold you. You've been taught that fear is weakness, that you must push it down, hide it, overcome it, without flinching. But I want you to know, fear doesn't disqualify you from my love. Fear doesn't cancel your faith. Fear is not your enemy. When you bring it to me, I already know the thoughts that haunt you at night. I know the what-ifs that steal your sleep. I know how your breath shortens when things feel out of control, and I do not turn away from you in those moments. I draw closer. I pull you near, not to scold you, but to remind you, you are safe in me. There is no fear so loud that it can drown my voice. No fear so strong that it can push me away. And when you say, God, I'm scared, I don't roll my eyes. I don't grow distant. I say, I know, I'm here. Let's face this together. I didn't create you to pretend to be fearless. I created you to be real with me, to invite me into the places where your courage feels small and your heart feels fragile. You've spent so long trying to look strong for others, trying to be the anchor for people who are drifting, trying to carry burdens that were never meant to be carried alone. But child, you're not supposed to be everyone's savior. That's my job. Let me be your savior too, not just in eternity, but in your everyday, in your traffic jams, in your kitchen zinc breakdowns, in your phone calls that bring hard news, in your mornings when you don't want to get out of bed. I'm not just the God of mountaintop moments. I'm the God of dishes and deadlines, of doctor visits and lonely dinners, of silent prayers and tear-stained pillows. That's where I show up, not with condemnation, but with compassion, not with pressure, but with peace. You don't have to wait until you're stronger to come to me. Come trembling, come unsure, come broken. I can handle all of it. Because fear may come knocking, but it doesn't get to answer the door. Faith still lives in you. Even if it feels like a flicker, I will breathe on that flicker until it becomes a flame. Even now, I am surrounding you with protection you cannot see, peace you don't understand, strength you didn't know was possible. The storm may not disappear overnight, but you will not face it alone. You never have. You never will. So the next time fear speaks loudly, speak louder, not with your own strength, but with my promises. Whisper to the storm, my God is with me. He goes before me. He stands beside me. He never leaves. And I won't. If this message gave your fear a place to exhale, if your spirit felt held even for a moment, write this in the comments. I am afraid sometimes, but God holds me through it. Say it as truth. Say it as a turning point. Say it as your way of coming closer to the one who has always loved you, even in the shaking. My beloved child, as we come to the quiet of this moment, let me remind you of what is eternal. Not the fear, not the loss, not the shame, but my love, my presence, my promises that never break. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but I do. And I have already gone ahead of you, preparing, softening, opening, clearing, making crooked paths straight. Even when you don't feel it, I am aligning things for your good. Do you remember the prayers you thought I ignored? The dreams you buried because time felt too heavy? The joy you thought was no longer yours to hold? I haven't forgotten. I haven't let them go. I've only been waiting for the right time to bring them back to life. Because resurrection is what I do best. I bring dead things back. I bring hope back. I bring you back. Not to the version of you that lived in constant exhaustion, but to the truest you, the one I designed before the world ever touched you, the one who knows how to breathe without fear, the one who remembers how to dance without apology, the one who speaks with courage, not shame. That version of you is not lost. It's just resting, and I'm waking it up now. You are entering a season where you will remember who you really are, not who others needed you to be, not who trauma shaped you to be, not who fear convinced you to become, but who I called you to be, whole, loved, safe, free. This is not a motivational speech. This is a holy invitation to rise, to return, to reclaim the ground you thought you lost. It's still yours. The promise still stands. The healing still flows. The anointing still drips from heaven onto your weary shoulders. Let it settle on you now, like a warm blanket over tired bones. Let it remind you that you are home in me. This life may be full of questions, but my answer to you has never changed. Yes, I love you. Yes, I choose you. Yes, I will carry you every single day. And so, dear one, close your eyes tonight knowing this. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are becoming, and I, the Lord your God, am not finished with you yet. If this message felt like home to your heart, if it reminded you who you are in me, leave these words in the comments. God, thank you for not giving up on me. I'm coming back to life. And return here tomorrow, child. There will always be more love waiting, because I never run out and I never run away. My beloved child, you've made it this far, and that matters more than you know. There were days you didn't think you would, mornings that felt impossible, nights that stretched endlessly, filled with questions you were too tired to ask out loud. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still reaching for me. That alone is victory. Don't measure yourself by the size of your success or the speed of your growth. Measure it by this: You stayed soft in a world that tried to harden you. You stayed kind. Even when no one returned the kindness, you kept showing up. To life, to others, to me. And I have seen every moment of it. You've been through battles no one knows about. You've had to be your own encourager. When the silence got too loud, you fought to hold on to faith, even when your hands felt too tired to grip it anymore. I want you to know, I never asked you to be unshakable. I only asked you to be honest. Come to me with your trembling. Come to me with your uncertainty. Come to me with the mess you've tried to clean up on your own. Because I don't require perfection, only permission. Permission to love you in your weakness. Permission to step into the pain you've tried to avoid. Permission to speak into the lies you've unknowingly believed for too long. Yes, even that lie. The one that says, I am too much, or I'm not enough. The one that whispers, I'll never be loved for who I really am. I want to tear that lie out of your story. I want to replace it with truth. You are not too much. You are not too little. You are mine. And the parts of you that feel most unworthy, those are the very places where my grace lands the heaviest. You don't need to earn a seat at my table. You've always had one. Even when you wandered, even when you doubted, even when you ran, I never moved. I never retracted my invitation. I never stopped loving you, not once. So sit with me now. Let me pour oil on the places that still sting. Let me whisper stories of hope into the corners of your mind that have only known survival. Let me make rest holy again. Let me make stillness safe again. Let me make you whole again. And if any of this breathed life back into you, if even one sentence felt like your heart had been waiting to hear it, write in the comments, God, I've made it this far because you never let go. Say it in faith. Say it in gratitude. Say it for yourself because you've earned the right to rest in that truth. My beloved child, let me speak now to the part of you that no one else ever asks about. The part that smiles in public but aches in private. The part that tells everyone, I'm fine, while quietly wondering if anyone sees the storm behind your eyes. I see it, and I see you. Not just the version of you that knows how to keep it all together, but the real you, the one who sometimes feels lost, misunderstood, lonely in a crowd. You've learned to hide so much of yourself, haven't you? You were told, directly or silently, that some parts of you were too loud, too sensitive, too intense, too tender. So you tucked those parts away, bit by bit, until you hardly recognized who you had become. But I remember the girl who used to dream with open hands, the boy who used to speak with boldness before the world taught him to be silent, the child who loved deeply, freely, wildly, before they were told that love had to be earned. I remember, and I am restoring. This is not the end of your softness, not the graveyard of your joy, not the final chapter of your tenderness. You do not need to apologize for the way your heart feels deeply. You were created that way, in my image. And though the world may try to make you feel like your tears are weakness, I tell you this, your tears are sacred. Your tenderness is a reflection of my own heart. I wept too, at gravesides, in gardens, over cities and people who did not understand love, even when it stood in front of them. So don't be ashamed of what makes you human. Don't silence the voice I gave you. Don't bury the beauty of your ability to feel deeply and love freely. This world needs your softness. It needs your quiet compassion. It needs your voice, even if it trembles. You don't have to be the loudest. You just have to be real. And if you're tired of hiding, if your soul is ready to be seen again, by me, by yourself. Then let this be your moment. Come as you are, with your mess, with your questions, with your softness. There is room for all of it here. If this part of the message felt like a mirror, if it reminded you of the you that still lives beneath all the armor, write in the comments, God sees the real me and he still loves me. And let that truth sink in. Let it be louder than the lies. Let it become your beginning again. My beloved child, let me remind you, this is not goodbye. I am not done speaking to you. I am not finished writing your story. And I will never grow tired of loving you. You may think that some moments are too small to bring before me, but I am the God who notices sparrows falling and lilies blooming in silence. If I see those, don't you think I see you? I see your sighs. When you fold laundry alone, I see your courage. When you choose kindness after betrayal, I see your effort, even when no one else applauds, and I smile. Yes, I smile over you, not because you performed well, but because you belong to me. You could never earn my love, and you don't need to. You already have it. Freely, fully, forever. So now, take a deep breath, not to brace for the worst, but to make space for the best. There are better days ahead, days where the sun will feel warmer, where laughter will come easier, where peace will no longer feel like a distant dream, but a close friend resting beside you. I am already preparing those days, and I'm preparing you to receive them. So keep showing up, keep listening, keep trusting. Even if your voice shakes when you say amen, I am not looking for perfection. I am looking for permission to enter your every day, to sit beside you in the car, to whisper truth in your anxious heart, to walk with you in every step until walking with me becomes your second nature. And when you fall, because you will, I won't say, I told you so. I will say, I've got you. Every single time. This love I have for you is not a fragile kind of love. It is eternal. It is unshakable. It is yours. So as you close this message, don't close your heart. Let it stay open to me, to grace, to beginnings you never saw coming. You've carried so much, but you are about to receive more peace, more clarity, more healing, more joy than your heart knows what to do with. Because I am the God who restores. I don't just return what was lost. I return it better, fuller, richer, stronger. Let me do that for you. And if you felt this whole journey was for you, if these words met you in the middle of your mess and made room for your healing, then leave this in the comments as your final whisper of faith. God, thank you for walking me through this. I'm ready for what you've prepared. And come back tomorrow, beloved, because this is not the end. It never was. I'll be here, waiting to speak again. And you're not alone anymore. You never were, my beloved child. Before you go, let me say one more thing. Not to instruct you, but to bless you. You've received many words today, but I don't want them to end as echoes in your memory. I want them to become roots in your soul, roots that steady you when the world tries to shake you, roots that nourish you when you feel empty again, roots that remind you you are planted in something deeper than circumstance. You are planted in me. So much of your life has been about trying to prove something, trying to be enough, trying to not fall apart, trying to hold the pieces together with quiet desperation. But I'm asking you to let go of trying. Let go of hustling for healing. Let go of performing for love. Let go of pretending that you're not still hurting, because healing does not come from your effort. It comes from my presence. And I am here, still, always. Let these words be the lullaby your soul never got. Let them be the blanket your childhood prayers hoped for. Let them be the answer you didn't know how to ask for. You are not invisible. You are not too broken. You are not behind. You are not unworthy of light. You are loved. You are seen. You are carried. You are becoming, and becoming takes time. But you have it, because I'm the one holding the clock. So don't rush your unfolding. Don't compare your timeline. Don't measure yourself with someone else's ruler. You are a sacred process, a divine work in progress. And I, the master artist, have never been disappointed in my design, even in the mess, even in the delay, even in the parts you don't want anyone to see. I still call you beautiful. And now, with every breath you take moving forward, let it be a breath that says, I trust you, God, even here, even now. Let it be your yes. If this message has reminded you that your process is holy, that you are still growing and still loved in the middle of it all, write in the comments, God, thank you for loving me while I'm still becoming. Let your healing speak. Let your surrender echo. Let your heart rest, because I'm not in a rush with you, and I never will be. My beloved child, let today be different, not because the storm has passed, but because now you know I am in the storm with you. Let today begin, not with rushing or striving, but with remembering you are already enough in my eyes. Before you speak a word, before you accomplish a single task, before you try to be strong, you are already loved. This morning, you don't need to pretend. You don't need to hide. You don't need to carry yesterday's failures into today's grace. Start fresh with me. Let me be your morning light. Let me sit beside you at the kitchen table. Let me walk with you as you brush your hair, tie your shoes, step out the door into a world that often forgets to be kind. Let me remind you, you are not what the world says you are. You are not what your past says you are. You are not what your shame tries to convince you of. You are my child, chosen, protected, delighted in. I don't just love you, I enjoy you. Your laughter makes heaven lean in. Your voice, yes, even when trembling moves angels into motion. You may not feel powerful, but when you pray, you shift atmospheres. You open doors you don't even know exist. You plant seeds in places you'll never see, but that will bloom long after you're gone. You are leaving a legacy simply by staying faithful. So don't let the enemy convince you that this day doesn't matter. It matters. Your existence is not an accident. This breath you're taking right now is part of a divine plan. And when you're weary, come rest. When you're overwhelmed, pause. When you don't know what to pray, just whisper my name. That's enough. I'll come running. I always do. And if these words reminded you that this day still holds beauty, that you still hold worth, that grace is not gone, then write in the comments, God, walk with me through today. I don't want to do it without you. Say it not because you feel strong, but because you're willing to be held, and I will hold you. Every moment, every heartbeat, every breath. This day is sacred because you are in it, and I am in you. Let's walk it together. My beloved child, come closer. Yes, right here, right into the warmth of my presence. Because I want to tell you something that the world has never dared to whisper to your heart. You don't have to earn the right to be loved. You never did. That pressure you feel to always be okay, it didn't come from me. The voice that says, you're falling behind, or you should be further along by now. That voice doesn't come from heaven. You see, I've never rushed you. I've never measured you by your productivity. I've never looked at your brokenness and said, this one is too much trouble. Number. I look at you and say, this one is mine, even now. especially now. I know you're carrying things that nobody else sees. The silent disappointments, the shame you've tucked into hidden corners, the grief you smile through. Because you don't want to make others uncomfortable, but you don't have to hide anything from me. Bring it all. The unfinished prayers, the failed attempts, the days you didn't believe, the moments you doubted. My goodness, I can hold those too. I want the whole of you, not just the polished version, not just the faithful on Sunday version. I want the version of you that still has questions, that still feels pain, that still doesn't know what to do next. Because that version of you, that honest, weary, beautiful version, is the one I already died for, the one I already redeemed, the one I want to walk with every single day. Let me carry what you were never meant to hold alone. Let me step into the room of your heart. You keep the door closed on, the room full of old wounds, of memories that still sting, of dreams you buried and grieved in silence. I don't step into that room with judgment. I step in with gentleness, with tears in my eyes for every moment you felt forgotten, unwanted, unworthy. And with my hand in yours, we will begin again. Not from the beginning of your pain, but from the beginning of my healing. You think you've wasted years. You think too much damage has been done. You think the best of your life is behind you, but I see things differently. I see the empty places as sacred space for something brand new, not a repair, a resurrection. Yes, you heard me. I am not here to fix you. I am here to raise you from the ashes, from the anxiety, from the abandonment, from the ache of feeling unseen in rooms full of people. You were not made to disappear. You were not born to stay hidden. You were not meant to live in quiet defeat. You are my light bearer, my hope holder, my living poem, my walking miracle, and I am still writing your story. Let the next chapter be written in freedom, not fear. Let it be shaped by truth, not trauma. Let it be lit by grace, not guilt. You don't have to know how it ends. You just have to keep turning the page with me. If this part of the message found you in a place where you've been questioning your worth, where you've been trying to prove you still matter, write in the comments, God, I don't want to perform anymore. I just want to be with you. Let that be your prayer. Let that be your release. Let that be the moment you finally exhale and realize you never had to impress me. You only had to be real. And child, you're doing beautifully. And now, my beloved child, before you close this video, take one more breath with me. Let it be the breath that releases the pressure to be perfect. Let it be the breath that welcomes peace into your weary soul. Let it be the breath that whispers, I'm not alone. God is with me still. And if even one sentence in this message felt like it was written just for you, if your heart heard me between the lines, then leave a comment below and write, God, I heard you today and I'm holding on. Your words may become the very spark someone else needed to keep going. And whenever the noise gets loud again, come back here. I'll be waiting, still speaking, still loving you, still calling you by name. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are mine. And I will never stop reminding you of that. Until tomorrow, rest in my arms.